Well, the National Health and Medical Research Council has released its draft review into the effectiveness of natural therapies. The results might just surprise some people.
Well, the report examined 18 natural therapies in all and found very little proof that they actually work. We're now joined by Professor John Dwyer from the University of New South Wales. John, the question with a lot of these is not whether you should be going and getting them done, because it's free choice if someone wants to go and get them done, but it's whether that we should be subsidising them and the government should be subsidising them. Let's start off with homeopathy. Take us through what it is and what this study found.
Well, of course, the point you make is a very good one. If there's credibility given to these things, if the government is subsidising them, of all of the things that were looked at, homeopathy is probably the most ridiculous and the least scientific. In fact, what homeopathy is based on is a erroneous concept that if you take something that causes a problem, causes a disease, and you dilute it, and I mean really dilute it, like putting 1 drop into a Olympic-sized swimming pool, and then you shake it in a particular way, that administering that back to people will cure the original problem. And it's just pure anti-science. So authorities around the world for years have been saying that homeopathy is a non-medical procedure and should not be subsidised. Now, the Australian government has now had recommendations that it doesn't subsidise it, and from April the 1st I think that will be the case. But of course the flow-on of that is that other government agencies that are subsidising people being trained in colleges of natural therapy to be homeopaths, that subsidy should stop as well. There's no logic in saying that this doesn't work but we'll continue to train people to give you something that doesn't work. So the implications from this review are quite significant.
And yet you've got people like Prince Charles, of all people, who's a massive fan. Massive
fan, and a massive anti-science person. Some of the things he says make it perfectly clear he has no understanding of how the body works in health and disease.
So should pharmacists be then taking these products off their shelves then?
Well, we're saying to pharmacists now, here's a real challenge, pharmacists. Your code of conduct says that you will only give evidence-based products to your customers. And in fact, virtually every pharmacy in Australia carries homeopathic preparations, and they should rid their shelves of them immediately.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other of the 18 natural therapies that were analysed here. Pilates and yoga. A lot of people doing these things very regularly now as a treatment for some sort of physical ailment. Are you saying that's a waste of time, or it's
no, look,
they shouldn't be subsidised?
The terms of reference for this study was to see whether there was any science that said these things were clinically effective, that is, they could treat disease processes, so migraines or depression and the like. Pilates and yoga may be very fine for exercise and for making you fitter and making you feel better, but in terms of can they help you with a clinical problem, there's no evidence whatsoever that they can do that.
Would it not be an argument, though, for taxpayer dollars to subsidise someone who's using Pilates or yoga to fix a physical problem?
Well, I think that if it was part of rehabilitation from a serious musculoskeletal thing, yes, I think the government does support rehabilitation. In terms of just all of us staying fit and going to the gym type subsidies, I think that's got to be a personal thing.
Just really quickly, acupuncture was not involved in this. Your view on acupuncture?
Well, the World Health Organization has just taken down its acupuncture website because there's been a flood of evidence recently that it's mainly a placebo. And the Chinese, interestingly, have deserted traditional Chinese medicine in favour of Western medicine, and acupuncture is not very much practised in China anymore. So I think people need to be warned and that this is a superb placebo, but the evidence that it really can do the things that are claimed for it is missing.
All right, sure to be controversial, the results of this review. Dr. John Dwyer, I really appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, up next on Today, faster browsing, how to improve your internet connection speed without spending a cent. We'll see you right after this.